Good morning, good morning. How's everybody this morning? What's up, Wheezy? It's Wheezy might have had a few too many coffees already. Hey, Timo, what's up? Kevin, Jaden, welcome everyone. Good, good. I'm doing well, doing well. Trading, packing, Apologies for this delay. Hey, Elsie, what's going on? There we go. Yeah, packing is not fun. Not fun at all. Uh, yes, I'm moving to the old folks' home. Be nothing in Geritol and Jello for me, all right. So let's take a look and see what we're dealing with. Our overnight inventory was 100% short most of the session. And what that means is the bulk of the trading, if you look here, is underneath the previous day's close. So that was, and it's still 97% short. Thanks, Elsie. How's your foot? So we had short inventory, and also we had something in the overnight called a poor low, which we talked about. We spoke about that on the Globex recording. Now, a poor low down there, I'm going to mark it here. That poor low is telling us that buyers were competing down at that low. So what does it mean when buyers are competing? Well, that's not a place you want to short it, right? If we take out Friday's high, the levels you're looking for, and I posted them a long time ago, are 55.64 and 55.84. Those are the first two levels to the upside. If we get any kind of selling, right, and we are above cost basis, if we start to get selling, look for 44, then 24, and that overnight low. Now, somebody asked me earlier, they said, do you think we'll get to that overnight low? I said, well, not the way it's going right now, right? So to get to that overnight low, which is 55.16 and a quarter, we got to be going the other way, number one. So You've got to get past 24 to get to 16. You know, you can't go around 24 to get to 16. You're going to have to trade through the levels to get to the lower levels. So just kind of, level to level. Remember that. Now, this is our 4 times balance range, and we are breaking above that. Let's see. We're going to go and double this now to 8 times. There's about a 40-second delay, and I apologize for that. I don't know why YouTube really is not doing its thing today. So the next thing we would do is we'll go balance times 8. So what does that mean? That means cost basis, because the balance is the cost basis, times 8 is the profit zone. Hey, Christian, how are you? One, two, three, 4, 5, 6. Simple, right? So you just go 2, 4, 8, 16, and so on. Very simple. So here's the problem, and it has to do with the end of the month, which is tomorrow. Tomorrow's month end. Wednesday is the last trading day of the month. Thursday is the 1st of May. So, generally during month end, if the order flow, if the customers support the agenda, the market will go higher. Now, why is that? It's because markets like to high close month end. Why do they like to high close month end? Because markets are performance driven businesses. So if I perform at month end, my clients will be happy at month end. If I do not perform at month end, my clients are angry at month end. Right? You guys get it? So if the order flow permits, they would prefer the markets to close higher. That would be super terrific. Right? Now, it doesn't always have to happen, but it helps. It helps everybody be happy. Right? So right now, we are 1 time framing up, which means the lows of each half-hour bar for the last little while, 1, 2, 3, last 4 half-hour bars, the lows are higher. Right? So if we accept, now these are the worst kind of breakouts to try and trade, because you get these real tight groupings of candles here. So say you were buying this area here. Say you wanted to buy 56 and a quarter, 56 half, right? And you have a long point of view. You think, you know what, JJ? The shorts are trapped under 55, and then the bid's moved up now to 56. So, I'll buy a few contracts here, and I know if we get past 58, maybe I'll put a 59 sell order. If I buy 3 or 4 contracts here, I'll go and I'll put a sell order at 59, just in case. Now, where's my stop? Well, my stop would realistically, I think 56 is too tight. So I think realistically, just down there under like 54 and a quarter. I mean 54 and 3/4. That's where you'd start getting stopped out. Right? So say you buy one. I took one at 57. I couldn't get it at 56 and a half. I tried. And I got a 58 and 3/4 offer. Because I always like to sell before my target. And I didn't get taken. So there is a seller up there. Right? Question about the corporate buyback program. opening up again after reporting earnings, that have a bullish impact? Or do they just do bark pools? Here's the thing, Dan. This whole corporate buyback thing, if you are trying to buy large chunks of a stock, the worst way to do it is to go into the open market and buy it. You know what I mean? If I'm trying to buy 1,000,000 shares of a stock, in the old days they'd have these guys called block guys, right? You'd go to the block guys and you'd go, hey, you know, ABCD, you got any of this stuff? Now you have dark pools and it's much more sophisticated, right? But they'll try and do it in one transaction. Does that make sense? So you have minimal effect. You don't want to run the market up on price, right? So if you want to buy 2 million, 5 million shares of a stock, you don't want to put the price up on yourself, right, while you're buying. You want to try and get it as cheap as you can. So say you picked up some 56 product, right? I'd put a 58 offer out. Say you buy a couple of contracts at 56 and a quarter, half. Offer it out because you're trading ahead of the open. You're buying at the highs, going into 8 times cost basis. So should you expect a 20-point trade here to the long side? So I'm out one at 58, and I'm offered one at 58 and a half, and one at 58 and 3/4. And let's see if I get taken out. If I don't get taken out, I'll have to hit the bid. Reduce price, right? And that's how you trade. Because if you can't sell, right? So I moved one down to quarter and I'm immediately out. And then I moved the 75 down to half and I'm out. I'm flat. And that's really the only way that I'll try and buy a breakout, right? I'll buy it 3-4 points, a couple of points here and there. I'm happy on that, right? It was long 56 half and I was selling them into the 58s, right? And I didn't know whether that trade was going to work out. I don't like buying breakouts. I like having size here and selling into the breakout here. That's what the smart money does. That's my thing. But if you're going to be a breakout trader, at least give yourself, see how the smart money sells right into that. I don't like buying at the top. Does that kind of make sense? You guys, I know it's Monday. And frankly, all I have is the sound of bubble wrap in my head. So, I doubt I'll trade tomorrow and the next day. I need to concentrate when I'm trading. And that's just me. I just have too much to do. I can't do it. Let's go see if we could take out that Friday high. If we could take out that Friday high, what's above us, folks? Come on. Where are my guys in the room? I got Wheezy who's hooked up to a car battery. He's got a car battery hooked up to his tongue, so he just keeps typing stuff out. Come on. So we're creeping up on 64. There's 64. What's the next level after that? There's no stops. 64, then 84. Yeah, let's see where the long starts selling. Right? You got to give those longs a reason to sell. So once we get, if we get over 64, I have no idea what kind of order flow to expect. Right? So just govern yourselves accordingly. Don't get too greedy at the end of the month. Okay? What do you think about last Friday low in the NQ? I have no idea. I haven't even looked at the NQ. Hello. Sorry, I'll have to take a look at it. I haven't looked at the NASDAQ in a little while. One minute backfills, right? For those of you, if you want pertinent information about charting, look at the time that the market backfills after a move up, right? If there's 3 minute backfills, those are kind of normal, but it only backfills for a minute and finds buyers, tells you that the bids are strong, okay? And that's practical information that you could actually use when you're trading. That backfill is like, it's like a tiny little sale. You know, we're taking the price of this product up, but for the next 30 seconds, 60 seconds, we'll give you a little bit of a deal. And if they only have to give you a deal for 30 to 60 seconds, that means that there's buyers. And if they have to give you a deal for 5 minutes, it means you had to go scrape up some buyers. See what I'm talking about? No? Okay. It means you didn't have to put it on sale that long, so you brought in buyers. Right? Otherwise, if you have to put it on sale like this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it takes a little longer to find buyers. But when you only put it on sale, it's that one little red candle means that there's a good amount of buyers at these levels. Trades off the open. Well, I'll tell you right now, if we get accepted above 55.64, I wouldn't short it. Thanks, Dan, for hitting the like button. And oh, got to plug the room. One sec before we start. Really quick. If you're tired of trading alone, we built a nice room for you guys at the Trading Syndicate. We've got live sessions, process tracking, XP rewards, and you'll access like people who actually make money and who are serious traders. No fluff. And traders who actually say when they screwed up and have a loss instead of posting gains all the time. It's actually a process and we just go to work every day. Now, if you want to scale up, right, and trade OPM, we've partnered with the firms like Apex and Take Profit and Tradeify. You pass the evaluation, you get to trade their capital. Use the links in our description. It supports the stream and it gets you in the door with really upside. Now let's get back to work. There's always somebody in the room. Hey, Crypto Audio, what's going on? Hey, look at the NQ. God, I need to clean up my NQ chart. It's not pretty. Look at that. The old coin of bitterness, 95,250. Very interesting. That's good. It's so funny. People ask me, what do you invest in? What do you own? I go, I just own a little Bitcoin. I just buy it when it dips and I just forget about it. Well, let's see if you guys do what you say you're going to do. I'll be like Uncle Jed. This is not a market that you want to short when it's trading like this. This kind of, these tiny little candles, all they're doing is they're just lining up the bids and then they lift price. We are still in the front end of the move. Hey, Zazu, what's going on? We are still in the front end of this move. There is no short yet. Maybe a look above and fail of Friday's high. I want to see a seller really step in. You see now there's a seller here, right? They're selling the 60, 60 half, 63 quarter. Where are they going to stop? 59. Lift the offer. Boom. Right. Another new overnight high, 61 half. Levels are working nicely tonight, or early morning, last night I should say. And we give you these levels every morning. I do them at about 2 o'clock in the morning, New York time, and they're posted in the room. So you guys have something, we'd like you to do your own, but for people who are new, I put out the levels so you have something to work off of. How often does inventory correct? Just like in business network, it corrects when the business demands it. So what is an inventory correction? It's a fancy way of saying a sale, right? So you unload the truck, you take the stuff and you put it on the shelf, right? You bought it for 10 cents, right? Your widgets. You put them on the shelf at $1.50, right? And they're selling like hotcakes. But maybe 3 o'clock in the morning comes around and there's not that many people around. So the buyers start dropping off and you see them picking up the widget and putting it down going, it's too expensive. What do? You start lowering price, right? The inventory is getting corrected before RTH. Indeed it is. Didn't even wait. Month end is coming up. People are short. There's the run of the previous day high. Now let's see if we stay above it. So those of you who do the look above and fail of the overnight high, and you're short somewhere here, put your stop here. If you're feeling rich, use 64. Those are your stops, and you're short. Now, you're going to have some buying at 58 and some buying at 56, so put some bids down here and see if you get hit. If it's a look above and fail of the overnight high, which it is right now, but you need to bid the market because they're going to come to a level and stop selling, and then you're going to be hooped if you don't have a bid in, right? Cool. Yeah, I got 67 and then 72 half to the top. Oh, you're looking at 57. You're 200 points up. Okay, well, maybe. I can't tell until we get there. I have no idea if we're going to move that high. See, that's why I got to concentrate on the short term. You never know. What if the last month was just nothing but a big flush? What if the last month was nothing more than a huge margin call flush to flush all of that weak stock into larger hands and then run the crap out of it? What if? I'm not saying it is, but what if it is? Yeah, it's margin call robbery 2.0, right? Wouldn't be the first time. So there you go. If you're short, remember we said if you're short 61, 61 half, you should be bid 58. Are you getting any love at 58? Yeah, you should be. If it traded 57 and a half, it would have gone through your bid. Next bid's down, I'd go 56 half, 57. So there you go. So you got a 3.4 point short, right? If you were short 61 and you covered at 58, that's not bad. There's worse trades in the world. That way you're shorting the backside of the move, right? You've identified that there's a seller, right? You've identified there's a seller over the overnight high and the sellers are competing, right? There you go. Look at that. That's a nice short, right? You covered some at 58, bang out the rest at 57, have a coffee. Now you've made money before the open, right? And you can chill. That's how we like to trade. Get in, grab a little cash, get the hell out. Now let the market open and let everybody else bang each other over the head with a frying pan. Okay? So no gap. Not yet. Not yet. Opening inside yesterday at Friday's range and value. Let's see if we could take out the overnight high at 63. Going to give it the old college try here. Goal line defense. Oh, price probe, yes. That's a weird probe too, ALC. That's truly a probe. But it didn't hold. Now we're over 64. Things get interesting, right? Just watch the level. 67's next. If there are enough people short underneath 62, the market will have a lot of trouble getting underneath 62 now. And we'll just go up and push this as far as we can. So if you had a long position, you'd want to be milking this for as much as you could, wouldn't you? Keep it simple. Trade in the direction of the business. We're going to come back down to 64. Let's see if it holds. Yeah, it kind of did. Second touch goes under, comes back up. Point of control is at 65. They're coming for it. Right? If you were short and you had to cover before the end of the month, which is tomorrow, remember if you are going long, the buying that's coming in the market right now is primarily short covering. So if you go long 65, sell into the 68s. Don't be too greedy, okay? You don't know how long that buying or how reliable that buying is going to be. Gonna test 64 again. Under 64 target 62 and a quarter. Whoop, there it is. Staying under 50, 55.62 targets the open at 57. It's back and forth. I told you that the buying wouldn't last because it's short covering. Now we're going to go find where the real bid is. Right, this was all smoke and mirrors in the first 5 minutes. It's just a really big show to get all the suckers drawn in. Now let's go find where the real buyers are. I'm thinking somewhere in the 53 area. Just looking at the 1 minute chart. Yeah, 54 maybe. Let's see. Probably. You think, Elsie? I don't think they're that short. Well, we'll find out as soon as we go down and tickle it. If we get down to 54 and it jumps like it sat on attack, then you know where the bid is, right? Come on. A couple of more ticks. Give us 6 more ticks. I want the reaction. If there's no reaction, I know there's no bid. A little bit of reaction. What? There it is. Open the door. Did that bring in buyers? There's a seller right here. There's a seller right there at 58. And the old sellers were here. So we might just go back and forth between 54 and 59. Maybe that'll be a rotation. See? Look. There's that seller again. They're selling at the same place. When they see buyers, they lift their offer and then they come back down. If there's enough buyers, they'll keep lifting the offer and we'll go up to 61.5. Then the next place you'll find a seller is around 63 and 3/4. There's 61.5. This is how you'll use the levels. Right? Nice look below and fail of 56. I was too short biased to take that long though. Full disclosure. That was a nice look below and fail of 55, 56, but up to 61. But I did not believe. I was too short biased. Can't take out that 54. Back above 56. Should rotate back up to 60, 59.5. There's 59. Give me another. Oh, there we go. There's 60. Okay, we got a little rotation. Got a little rotation. Right? 54.5 to 60. And if we're lucky, 61. Now back down. So what I'm watching is where they stop selling. Right? The top of the candle is where everybody initiates. The bottom of the candle is where they stop selling and lift the offer. See? Little look below 56 and the offer starts to lift. There you go. Watch the offer. Right? It's like the offer is playing a flute and it's charming all the snakes and they're following the offer. See? There's 61 and a half. If we get over 62, look for 64. That's where the next seller will be. They'll always sell at the same levels. Why? Because if I sold at 62, I'm going to sell there again. Right? And if I was a seller at 64, I'm going to put product out there again. People will buy it. If they're going to buy it at 62, they'll buy it at 64. Let's see. Just keep selling. That's all you got to do. Turn that inventory into cash. Make the donuts, transport the donuts, sell the donuts. It's a simple business. Right? Just charm all those buyers in, right? Just mesmerize them with that high price. You know what? You can think of the buyers. Remember the Flintstones? When Fred Flintstone used to smell some really good food and he'd just kind of float in the air and his nose would like take him to the source? Same thing. That's what buyers are like. They'll just float. They'll float on up. You just lead them. That's a bit choppy now. Yeah. Okay, we're gonna have to put it on sale here. Right? They're not buying the illusion anymore. Right? This is Calvin Klein's obsession, 2 for 1. Oh, see, it came in. The buyers came in. Look at that. Remember the 80s? I had a friend of mine, she wore so much of that perfume, I could tell when she was coming around the corner. The smell would hit me first before oh, there she is. Okay, let's see if we can get up to 64. So far, ladies and gentlemen, we're having a hard time getting under 56. So if my friends who are short, and we have not been able to get down to Friday's close yet. Oh, there's 64. Now, if we get back up over 64 and stay over 64, ladies and gentlemen, be careful on the short side because that up and down washing machine motion between 56 and 61 did two things. Number one, it flushed out everybody who was long over 61, and it created some people who are short under 59, 60, 61. And those short sellers are now ripping the offers, right? And you'll see the market going up. You Delta kids who look at that Delta schmelta, you'll see your Delta going up as they take the offer, right? But I don't need to even look at that to know if the offer is ripping and they're printing the offer, they're taking the offer, right? So yeah, as LC said, we rejected Friday's value area for now, which means what's the value area? It's the cost basis, right? We're in distribution, right? We're selling the stuff we bought on Friday higher. And we take it down to the top of where we paid for a crap on Friday, stop selling, lead them back up. And if we get enough of them short underneath 62, they're going to help hold the price up now like they're doing. Just watch. Yeah, we're in the same neighborhood, LC. I'm looking for 84. And I got 80 on here on the micro balance levels. Where is it? Oh, 78 and then 83. But yeah, don't stand in front of this on the short side. I told you guys, if it accepts over 64, don't stand in front of it. Let the buyers wear themselves out. Be careful shorting backfills going into month end. Your risk is your primary driver. We have all the big earnings this week too, right? Thursday, Crab Apple and Microsoft on Wednesday, I think. Buffet. All you can eat. Yep. It's window dressing, not window washing. Close. Because, Rolly, let's pretend you had $10 million in Nigel's fund. And Nigel's had, 3 or 4 bad months, right? You worry about your money, right? So Nigel's got to do something to make his portfolio look good wherever they can get it. Everybody thinks the same way. That's why markets like to creep up. Also, the premise of the market is investing, right? If I told you, hey man, you give me $5,000 today, and in 5 years from now you're going to owe $200,000, it's not really a good money-making scheme, right? But if I say you give me $5,000, I'll give you $200,000 in 5 years, that's something you would be interested in, right? This thing's not backfilling now for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 minutes now. No backfill, which means no red candle. Let's see, might get one now. I might have cursed it. You get that. Think about the amount of money involved. Do you think people who throw around billions and trillions of dollars leave a lot of things to chance? Think about it. Do you think if somebody has $1 billion and invests $200 million in a fund, do you think that they're really leaving all of that to like, oh, it's all just random. Here's 200 million random dollars. Like I always say, don't think like the guy who's lining up for 8 hours to buy a phone or a toy. Think like the people who are selling you the toy or the phone. Think like the people who are getting you so hyped up that you gotta line up to buy something that's not essential. Once you get that mindset, now you start becoming like a trader. A trader is not a consumer. They're trying to sell you something. Well, my friends, this is really boring to trade this. Is there a at 55.82? I do not know, my friend. Exactly. That's why it's called sales and trading instead of purchases and trading. Ooh, a red candle. Let's see if they stop at 70. Oh, I feel bad for the people who are short over the weekend. It's another thing. Never short the weekend before month end. Just don't do it. 55.84 is a really big level for me, so we are front running it a little bit. That's good to see. Oh, finally. Little liquidation. Down to 64. Caught a bid. Let's see. Where do they sell into it? Wait for the next candle. 14 seconds now. Next candle opens. Can we get under 67? Right. If we can't get under 55.67, be careful on the short side, okay? Those of you who entered shorts late. This is what you need. Look for covering at 63. Now, do we get this same sort of thing happen? Big move down, up, big move down, up. Let's see. Do we have the juice? Oh, looking for a rotation. If we don't get a rotation, we'll get a liquidation back to the open. Sellers are down at 67 now. Look for entry back into the overnight range. Oh, that's good, Wheezy. So, like, once you lock yourself out, you can't unlock it? Is that you're done for the day? That's cool. That's good. Well, that 64 seems to be holding. And once again, there's a lot of short covering at 64. That's why every time we dip underneath it, you notice how little time it spends underneath 64? We dip underneath 64 and we come right back up very quickly. That's because there's short bids here, right? Because people are short underneath here and they've got their buy orders there. That's what's going on. If those people see that these sellers are desperate, they'll drop their buy orders down. And levels like this, I have no desire to trade them 3 or 4 times in a row. I'll let the large traders work this out. There. See, they saw some selling. So now the short sellers are dropping their buy orders. When the sellers realize that they're competing too much, they'll try and raise the offer. But if there are no buyers, they'll just keep pounding it lower and lower. Remember, the cost basis of the people who are selling the product means what did they pay for this crap? It's all underneath 54. Right? So what's going on? The mechanics of the market are this. If you own product, say you have 10,000 contracts underneath 54. Well, you could sell them above it using people who are trapped here short to hold the market up. So they're like your table that hold the price of your goods up. And then you could get rid of it. So they could sell it all the way back down. Right? They could sell it all the way back down to that overnight point of control. It'd still be in profit. POC moved down now, underneath the previous day high. Now, do we do another look below? Remember, there were buyers here before, right? Let's see what happens. As we get to that close, do they step in and buy again? And if they do, remember they've got more inventory above because now we've traded longer over 56. So there's more volume above 56. Let's see. Oh, boy. Is this a look below 56 and fail? Or is it a look below and go? So, for example, if you were shorting this and you're shorting it at the lows, right? Your sellers are going to be here. So that's where your stop really should be, at the top of that candle. If you want to give the trade room to work. Because if it's not working, you can always get out of it. You know, you short 54 on a couple, and you just flatten out. right? Now, why was I thinking short there, even though it was at the lows? Because I saw the sellers. Could I have been earlier? Yeah, I suppose if I had been a bit more on the ball, I could have gotten better trade location. But I wanted to confirm it was underneath 56, and then it just couldn't get up there, so that's where I started selling it. And then it just covered as it dropped down. Now, if you're still short, the middle of the zone is 45, and the bottom is 34. So if you want to stay short, say you're short here at 54, put a couple of put some buy orders in on the way down and let the market hit you and pay you as it liquidates. Okay? Oh, this is good. This is a two-sided market. It's healthy. Next set of stops is at 45. Right? If you're short and we stay under 45, you're looking for 39 and a half. Right? It's going to do some short covering here because it's the middle of the zone. That's perfectly natural. What you want to do is see where they sell into it. They should sell into it somewhere underneath 50, but I have to wait till the next candle. Right? Under 45 targets 39 and a half. There's 39 and a half. Underneath 39 and a half. Where's VWAP? Oh, we're already underneath VWAP. Didn't even matter. So 39 and a half. If that breaks, you're looking for 34. Okay? Pretty simple. The podcast with Mark Cuban? That was a few years ago, my friend. Sorry. That was a long time ago. Yeah. I think that was before he got all political. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, we hope he's doing okay. He was a good guest. Oh, there's a little bit here. So when the market goes back up and it catches buyers, there's going to be some selling before VWAP. There should be some front running there. Just just in case. There it is. There it is. See? You'll be shocked. If you actually pay attention to your 1 minute charts, how much information that they'll spit up. It's really quite incredible. And like information you can use, not fantasy, right? I mean, wouldn't you like to know where, if you're long, right? If you buy something, wouldn't you like to know where people are going to come and sell it, so you could like get out of it before they steal your client? I don't know. You bought something at 5, you want to sell it at 9, but what if there's somebody who's sitting at 8 who has a ton of it? Wouldn't you want to sell it there? Hello? Yes? No? These are not rhetorical questions. Oh, okay. It's how you can use it's how you can use a simple chart to actually make some money, right? Instead of like trying to overcomplicate everything. Right? So if you know somebody's going to sell here, sell a little bit cheaper. uh, just just practical stuff that you could actually use. Looking for 56. Top of the range. Right? So this is just rotation, right? Couldn't get down to 34, turned and rotated up. And rotation back up. All right. Seller at 56. Back down to VWAP. That's why I like to sell it to strength if you are long. I'm not a believer in putting stops at break even. There's no point in doing business if you're doing business to break even. At least pay for your commissions and your fees. A little bit of distribution here above VWAP. Still sellers though. It's a nice quiet month end so far. Tomorrow's really month end. Everyone's waiting for the big pullback. Everyone's waiting for the big pullback. AZS, what's going on? How are you? Little rotation now between 50 and 55. Not much really going on. This is what I'm talking about here, folks. Just this little back and forth. That's a rotation. There's little rotations, right? And you can rotate to acquire and then distribute, acquire, distribute. And what are we rotating? We're just rotating inventory. Okay. Sorry, folks. A little sleepover here. Apologies, apologies. Okay. This is pretty boring. I don't really see a trade, but we'll wait. And this is the part a lot of people they hate this. Like there's nothing to do. Well, you could try and scalp this range, right? If you really had to. Otherwise, just wait for a breakout because we're either going to come back here or we'll do another one of these. But right now, I can't predict it. I would like to see some liquidation personally, right? I'm always a fan of liquidation. Good, good, good. And we just wait and wait and wait. The smaller the candles get, the less interested I am in trading them. Great time to get up, go grab a coffee, go do something else. Any questions? While it's doing this, let's go take a look and see what the cool kids are doing. NVIDIA 108, Apple up to that 209 level. Amazon 188. Just like to see what these deals are cranking out at. 160 Google. That crazy MSTR. Oh, they got it back over 358. Nice, nice. And Tesla. Yeah, 294.84. 294.86 is the high. That was 2 pennies off the high with my level. That's the middle of that zone. There's going to be a seller there on old Tesla. Yeah, definitely. We could definitely have a seller at 55.56. But they stopped selling right at VWAP, so there's some buyers there. Uh, if anyone has questions, fire away. We got lots of time. Yeah, but we got outside the previous day's range. We opened in it, and then we went above it, and they came back in. Now, some people will look for the overnight low and Friday's low if you get true rotation. But right now, the market's telling me to get the heck away from the computer. You know, this is where a lot of new traders they get trapped, right? Because that is just if you're trading this and you're over trading this, it's like you're walking down a dark alley with $100 bills falling out of your pockets. You're going to get rolled, right? Just leave it alone and wait for a trade setup, right? Once you have a trade setup, you do a look below and fail, a look above and fail, or, a fail to get underneath a level. Those kind of trades, there's a business reason. Right now, I don't see a business reason to go long or short. I just see rotation. Now, if we start getting over 60, that's different, right? If we get up over 60, then you know that there's going to be sellers at these levels. So if you are long, if you wanted to take that long, that's what you'd be looking at. I don't see it yet, right? The more people short this thing, the crappier the price action gets. Let's see if we can crack 58. Can we get over 58? Not yet. Slow, slow, slow morning. That's okay. Let's see some major levels to the upside, just in case. Gosh, this is really slow. So 55.84, big level, if we can get up there again. 56.01 and 3/4. 56.23. And then that balance zone that I derived these levels from is 56.23 to 57.02. And the middle is 56.63. And then if we get back up there, we're really kind of back to where we, started. There's still inventory over 6,000. Although I imagine most of that has been pounded out. I mean, because we dropped from 6,200s all the way down, all the way down under 5,000, down to 48.89. So I imagine most of the longs contract rollover. This is a speculative market. So I imagine we'll pop right back up. If the economic news is stable, it'll bring buyers. People have to put money to work. That's a good idea. If you are a person who gets annoyed and upset and stuff like that, just go for a walk. Much better for you. Because if you try and trade it, you get stopped out, you get more annoyed. It's a vicious cycle. Seems to be breaking out of that little range. Let's see, can we get some follow through? Or does it come right back in? Just use the levels if you are trading. Remember to be super patient. Sell into strength, cover into weakness. It's a two-sided market for now, but it's pretty slanted to the upside right now. No questions? Comments? I'll shut her down a little bit early, folks. If nothing's going on, nobody wants to look at anything, ask any questions. We respect your time. Have a wonderful day. Come by and visit us at the Trading Syndicate. Use this downtime to polish up your skills. Have a great day, everyone. Thank you for being with me through this torturously slow market. I appreciate you all. We'll see you tomorrow. Trade safe out there. Thank you. Bye for now.